for the biggest march Europe has seen. Islam, you've got no chance in Poland. I'm leading the Antifa march in Poland. Would the people in this march open up the borders for the refugees?
Yes.
How many refugees?
100,000, it wouldn't change.
As 5 refugees have committed acts of terror in Europe in the last year, how, if you welcomed 100,000, how would you tell who's a terrorist and who's not?
Yeah.
I'll say you're looking at 3,000, 4,000 people here. There's a lot of Polish flags. Would you like Poland to open its borders for refugees?
Yes, of course. I think it's not what I would like, but what we have to do, because it is our responsibility. We started the war. We supported the war in Iraq and Afghanistan. We live of exploitation of the third world, and we owe these people some respect when they are fleeing wars that we started.
If 5 million Muslims wanted to come in as refugees tomorrow, you'd welcome them?
Yes, I would.
10 million?
I think there is no limit.
So how,
I think we should all, as a humanity, we are all brothers and sisters, and we should share this planet equally.
Hey, let's talk.
Fuck off this march, right? I'm the organizer. Fuck, get the fuck out.
Oh God. Here we have lots of funnily dressed people who are getting... Where's your diversity? Where is your diversity? You're all white. All I see is white men. This is the biggest patriotic march Europe's seen. And when you hear and spend your time talking and listening about their history and about their struggle for their identity and struggle for their country, you understand why they're so keen to show who they are. And I find it fascinating. Even the hairs on the back of my neck are standing up now, knowing that their country come out like this, their people come out like this. This is what you'll witness here is what comes when a country has pride in who they are. They know who they are. They haven't had political correctness take that away from them. Oh man, it's great, isn't it? You've seen the previous march, now you've seen this march. You tell me who the good guys are. Hey, who's the calm guys? Who's respectable? What do you see? Families, children, people bring their families to celebrate their identity. Absolutely brilliant. If we show our flag, people call us racist for showing our flag.
We don't think. I don't think about us and the people. They are racist.
For many years, we was. They teach us that if you are Polish, you are bad and bad, ugly and stupid. Yeah. So I am very proud that Polish people are proud now.
And you see, it's going to be perfectly peaceful. Huh? So nobody expects any troublemakers here.
You know what? Old-fashioned British, they are totally different than the youngsters are. If you know what I mean.
I know.
I think the youngsters, they are lost. Here, I feel like I'm at home. You know what I mean? That's my culture. That's my parents. That's my grandparents, grandparents, etc., etc. If you know what I mean.
You're from Great Britain. I'm from Germany, and we are screwed. The people don't wake up. What can we do to make them be aware of the danger they are in?
And when you hear their history, it's fascinating. You know the Battle of the Gates of Vienna? You know Europe would have been taken over if it wasn't for Polish fighters. If it wasn't for the Polish in 1683. The Battle of Britain would not be won if it was not for the Polish. The Polish have a history of fighting. And now, hundreds of thousands are marching every year. This has become the day where Poland celebrates who they are. They celebrate their country, and I'm so glad I'm here to join them. I get hairs on the back of my neck standing up to see the pride they have in who they are. It's brilliant. What you had is Antifa trying to stop this march of pride. So football groups from across the country come together. This is one football team. This is one football team. It's brilliant. Come on, boys. Could you imagine this in England? Could you imagine this in Germany? They understand, look, and the whole place is chanting. You have the Trojan horse with the refugee with a bomb on him. No refugees, and the Polish man fighting back, and the slogan along the bottom, Europe, wake up. What will it take? We've had 4 bombings in England in 4 months, and still our country sleeps. They've had no bombings in their country. Look how awake they are. Look at the country. They're all up, they know what's happening. Our country, we're getting bombed every month. Europe, France, Germany, wake up. Your people need to wake up.
I have just got back from, let's make sure that's the right way around, so I don't look at our knob, Polska. Unbelievable trip to see. I went to Poland. It's their Independence Day. If you read the British media reports, you'll read that 60,000 Nazis marched. Unbelievable. I was on that march. It's not 60,000 Nazis. It's not 60,000, it's well over 60,000 people. You have to see the size of this march. Many things I didn't know about Poland. I hadn't actually, I'm taking this off because I'm too hot, I don't care about my hair. Right, many things I didn't know about Poland were, do you know, we haven't been tested in Britain. We haven't been tested, or we haven't had to, when you look at Poland's history, they were off the map. There was no Poland. For over 100 years, there was no Poland. They got their independence back 100 years ago. 100 years ago next year. So 99 years ago, I think. Yeah. Now, in 1944, when I look at their history, or just look at Poland's history, look at the Battle of the Gates of Vienna in 1683 on September the 11th was the 20,000 Polish horses, 80,000 hooves, marched down. There's statues of this. They stopped the Ottoman Empire. If they hadn't, so the Polish saved Europe. If they hadn't stopped the Ottoman Empire, the Muslims would have continued to invade. They'd have took over Austria. They'd have took over the whole of Europe. They'd have destroyed Christendom. There'd have been no Christianity. They'd have absolutely obliterated it. The Polish prevented that. If you look at the Battle of Britain, we wouldn't have won the Battle of Britain if it wasn't for the Polish. When you look at Poland's history, I looked in 1944, the biggest uprising, the biggest civil uprising of people in the world's history. 250,000 people fought with pitchforks against the Nazis. 250,000 died. 63 days they managed to fight for. They thought they'd be able to fight for 5 days. They fought for 63 days. Now, Poland, when you go through all of this and you speak to the Polish people, they're very aware of the fight. If I could tie up in one word the story of their country, it would be struggle. The struggle for their independence, the struggle for their identity, the struggle for who they are. And now they're very aware of who they are, and you'll see that in the upcoming video. They know who they are, they know their history, and they know how to fight for it. And it was so amazing to watch and see. And then to come back and read British media reports calling them all Nazis is just an absolute liberty. Yes, in amongst that £100,000, there were probably some unsavoury characters, some unsavoury groups. There would have been. It's massive. It's their Independence Day rally. Everyone supports it. It was huge. Poland, I love you. Come back, I just think it's great to see and it's disheartening to see because it makes you think, what has happened to us as British men? Where is our pride? Where is our fight? That's what it made me think. And it also made me admire the Polish country and the Polish people. Admire them.